Hey, my friends, how are we doing today? Doug the Canadian, and welcome to my podcast where we dive into the world's hottest stories with a cup of coffee in hand and zero sugar coating. I'm your host, and today, October 10th, 2025, we're zooming in on the Middle East, specifically the long simmering tensions between Israel and Gaza. And we all know that it's been, exactly 2 years since the devastating October 7th attacks that kicked off this latest chapter of conflict. And if you've been following, like everybody else, you know it's been quite the roller coaster of heartbreak, diplomacy, and utter destruction. But buckle up, my friends, because today's update feels like a potential turning point. So let's break this down step by step, like we're chatting over brunch. So first off, a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is officially in effect as of, I don't have a watch, so noon local time in Gaza. That's about 5 a.m. my time in Eastern, here in Sudbury, Ontario. So yeah, you heard that right. After months of this back and forth negotiations, Israel forces have started pulling back from parts of Gaza. And we're seeing reports of Palestinians streaming back towards their homes, or what's left of them, in areas like Gaza City, Nuseirat. But you gotta remember, the Israel military confirmed that some of the pullback is complete in some of the zones, opening up coastal roads for civilians to actually return. It's a scene straight out of a post-apocalyptic movie. Masses of people heading north, checking out the wreckage everywhere, and trying to piece their lives back together. Now, you just say to yourself, how the hell did we get here? Well, this deal didn't just drop from the sky. It's part of a phased agreement brokered by Donald Trump. Yeah, he's like flexing those big muscles of his, or those flabby muscles, or any way you want to say it. But yeah, he loves making these deals. So far, both sides have conditionally accepted his proposal for a permanent ceasefire, which kicks off with this initial phase. Now, Hamas is set to release somewhere around 20 living Israeli hostages within the next 72 hours or so. And in return, Israel will free 250 Palestinian security prisoners serving these super long sentences, plus another 1,700 Gazans who have been detained since this war escalated. We're talking like life sentence folks on the Palestinian side. So this is actually heavy stuff. Emotions are running very high on both ends of the fence. But let's not pop the champagne just yet. Reports indicate that, while attacks have dramatically dropped in southern Gaza, Israel is retaining control over about 53% of Gaza's territory, including border corridors and strategic zones. That's according to the on-ground updates. They have videos showing troop movements and all that stuff. But the Israeli Defense Forces say the ceasefire is holding, but they've wrapped up their withdrawal from certain areas while keeping a firm grip on others for security reasons. So on the flip side, some voices on social media and from Gaza's civil defense are, whispering about lingering strikes or tensions, though major outlets like Reuters and Al Jazeera confirm that the pullback is underway and violence has tapered off. It's that classic fog of war situation, optimism mixed with caution. So zoom out a bit. This comes after 2 brutal years that have left Gaza in ruins, with tens of thousands dead, infrastructure obliterated, and humanitarian crisis that's gut-wrenching. So Israel stated a goal the whole thing was just to dismantle Hamas after October 7th attacks, which killed over 1,200 Israelis and saw hundreds taken hostage. Hamas, meanwhile, has framed their so-called resistance as a fight against occupation. So Trump's involvement, it's got folks buzzing. Some see it as a win for the America First diplomacy, others as just a band-aid on a deeper wound. And get this, there's this chatter about Trump's eyeing a Nobel Peace Prize. Well, today that honor went to Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado. So, yeah, there you go. And on the streets, or should you say X, the reactions are like all over the map. Pro-Palestinian accounts are calling for full accountability and reconstruction, with some alleging isolated bombings even post-ceasefire. Israeli supporters are hailing the deal as a security victory, emphasizing, if the hostages are returned or not. And then there's the global angle. Germany, this is crazy. Germany honored the October 7th victims with 1,000 chairs at the Brandenburg Gate. A poignant reminder of the human cost. It's raw, it's real, and it's far from resolved. So what's next? Phase 1 is all about the immediate de-escalation. But the road to a lasting peace, that is the million-dollar question. Will the hostages walk free? Will aid trucks roll in unimpeded? And can both sides actually rebuild trust, or at least stop the cycle? Well, I'll be watching closely, and I know you will. And if you're in the region, stay safe. So drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you make of this ceasefire? Don't forget to hit subscribe and for more updates. And until next time, let's just keep questioning. Keep listening. This is Doug the Canadian, signing off. Peace out, my friends. Stay safe.